Did we wake up in a weird universe? Because what the hell happened in week 4 of the LEC? Find out in this week's Fantasy League. Well, we are nearly halfway through the LEC, but it's week 4. No clash this week as Duncan is not available, but we still got a table. And here's what it looked like after week 3. Not that much in it, but could it get closer? Let's move on to the rundown. Friday's game 1 saw Origin take on Mad Lions. Origin got the first Herald for a picture-in-picture moment. Origin then used that Herald to take out the first tower. In another picture-in-picture moment, there was a lot of them this game. Quite a lot. Mad Lions did manage to get the first dragon. A bit uncontested to be fair. But Origin ended up with that big old Baron. And promptly, and a few kills later, went and got themselves the win as well. Game 2 saw XL take on SK. So, Dragon went to XL. Pretty uncontested. Herald also went to XL. Again uncontested. Tower bumped by Herald, destroyed by XL. And Baron taken by... You get the idea, really. And the win... Yeah, no guessing that one either. Game 3, and Vitality were ready to succumb to Fnatic. I mean, let's be fair. They're not doing well. Though Fnatic ended up with the first dragon. You know, after a few kills either way. But Fnatic also took the Herald. Because they could. Vitality lost a tower as well. And they lost the Baron. They really didn't do well this game. The kills reflect it as well. Game 4, and Schalke, still also looking for their first win, went and took on Rogue. Now, Rogue ended up with the first dragon pretty easily. They also took the Herald away from Schalke. And then let it loose on the mid tower, taking that down as well. They also ended up with the Baron and also the win. It was a week of sweeps, to be fair. Friday's last game saw G2 take on Misfits. This was a game. G2 ended up with the first Herald, uncontested, and set it loose, but not quick enough, as Misfits got the first tower. They then also took themselves a nice little dragon. And the Baron. This was a shocker, because G2 lost their first match in the split. But the shocks were going to get worse. Saturday opened up with Vitality being around for Misfits. Now, first dragon ended up with Misfits, along with the Herald after they just shoved Vitality out of the way. Then, as the cloud winds quickened, Vitality got themselves an objective in terms of a turret. But Misfits were back on the horse, took the Baron, and a kill, and the game not long after. So fun times. The next game saw Rogue take on SK. And take on they did. They ended up with that first dragon. Again, uncontested, like a lot of the week. They also nicked the Herald. I say nicked, they pretty much just grabbed it for themselves. And that top tower went as well. they also took on the Baron and won, and humbled SK to victory. So, game 3, and it was G2 taking on Schalke, and you wanted shocks. Well, here we are. G2 ended up with the first Herald, but after a 2-death deficit, Schalke ended up with the first Dragon of the game, pretty comfortably. Though, G2 ended up with the first tower as well. Everything was looking their way. They even ended up with a Baron. But Schalke, they hung on and took the game. Their first win of the split, G2's second loss on the bounce. The penultimate game of week 4 saw Origin take on XL. And take on they did. XL ended up with the first Dragon early on in the game, while Origin responded in kind with the first Herald. Then a little bit of a split screen fight, where XL ended up with the first tower. Close though. Then teamfight time, and Origin ended up with a Baron, and destroyed XL at the end. Week 4 wrapped up with Fnatic and Mad Lions. And well, Mad ended up with this game. They took on the Dragon and won. They took on the Herald and won. They took on the Tower and won. They took on the Baron and won. And of course, through all this, they took on Fnatic and won. So, they were some good matches, but how did our predictions fare? Here comes the table. For a second week running, Stefan topped the prediction boards for a weekly game, but at the top, total, 2 players for first place and only 10 points left in it? This is going to get fun. So, until next week, where we look at week 5, we shall see you soon. Bye!